The Pittsburgh Steelers selected former Ohio State quarterback Will Howard in the 6th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. There are some who believe that he could be the long-term answer after Aaron Rodgers decides to retire. Heading into the 2025 season, no one knows exactly what Howard's role or status will be on the Steelers. However, the team has remained very high on him. Unfortunately, Howard missed the entire preseason due to a broken bone in his pinky finger. He has been focused on recovering from the injury and getting back to 100% health for the start of the regular season. With that being said, Howard received some huge news on Monday. Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin spoke out about Howard's current injury status. As shared by Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Howard will be back to full practice participation in the near future. Howard seems to be a lock to stick with the Steelers, at least for now. There are questions about how the team will make that work. Right now, Pittsburgh has Rodgers as its starter, with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson behind him. Howard would come in at number 4 on that depth chart. Perhaps the Steelers will part ways with either Rudolph or Thompson. There is no telling exactly what direction the team will go, but it would be shocking if they decided to part ways with Howard. During his final season in college with the Buckeyes, Howard led Ohio State to a national championship win. He completed 73.1% of his pass attempts for 4,010 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Howard also flashed his athleticism with 226 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. Hopefully, Howard will be able to get back to full health and make up for lost time. He isn't expected to play this season for Pittsburgh, but his future is extremely bright with the franchise. At least for now, this is all good news. The Steelers will need to have their roster trimmed down to 53 players by Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Howard seems safe, but anything can happen in the NFL. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, and former Pittsburgh Steelers standout receiver Deontay Johnson has learned an ugly lesson. He was once a Pro Bowl caliber player for the Steelers, but since his trade, his career has taken a tailspin. Johnson has created a toxic image for himself, and it would be outstanding if he could find a way to turn things around. In a post by ESPN's Adam Schefter, Johnson has been released by the Cleveland Browns. He signed a 1-year contract with the Ohio-based team to revitalize his NFL career. He had a strong chance to become a top target on a boring Browns offense. Johnson failed to accomplish that task, and he remains searching for a chance to make an NFL roster. After he created a terrible image of himself this past campaign, it's no wonder any NFL team would be concerned about bringing him into their locker room. Joining the Browns seemed like a great opportunity to rebound, despite their roster full of talented playmakers. Johnson was once a star receiver, but after failing to remain in Cleveland, this could be the end of the road for him. Former Pittsburgh Steelers star receiver Deontay Johnson is jobless once again. It's a shame that the former Steelers' offensive weapon has ruined his career. He has produced quality numbers throughout his career, but last season saw everything unwind. Perhaps Mike Tomlin was the only thing keeping him in check. If that's true, Tomlin should gain plenty of praise for how he dealt with George Pickens and Johnson while they were teammates. No one knows what is next for Johnson after getting cut by the Cleveland Browns. He has a ton of talent to offer any NFL offense, but his toxicity is too rancid to consider. Johnson could be out of a job for the foreseeable future. It's realistic to imagine that his chances of playing in the top tier of football might be over. Johnson ruined his once promising career with his actions last season, and he will always regret it. In March of 2024, Johnson was traded to the Carolina Panthers. He was envisioned as their top receiver going into the year, but that failed. After the Panthers struggled that season, he was flipped to the Baltimore Ravens on October 29th of that year. He quit on his teammates while with the Steelers' bitter rivals. It got so bad that the former playmaker was cut on December 20th. Houston picked him up off waivers, but they only held him on their roster until January 14th. Baltimore would claim him once more, but they just stored him on the team for a potential compensatory pick during the offseason. It was a long and bumpy road for Johnson, and it seems like he could be at the end of his NFL career after getting cut by Cleveland. The Pittsburgh Steelers must have perked their ears up following the Monday news in Sin City. JAKOBI wants out of the Raiders, requesting a trade from Las Vegas. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero added context into why Meyers is seeking a new home. Meyers and the team attempted to negotiate a new contract, but could not come to terms, Rappaport shared on X, formerly Twitter. However, the Raiders are denying any thought of sending away their 1,000-yard wide receiver. Granted, the Raiders shared this declaration before luring back Amari Cooper. The return of Cooper adds him to a room already featuring intriguing newcomers. Donnie Thornton delivered an impressive training camp. Jack Beck is another rookie the Raiders are high on. And the silver and black feature 2024 Pro Bowler Brock Bowers at tight end. Meyers can still make this Raiders offense dynamic and deepen the air attack. But the Steelers present plenty of reasons to make a run at him well before the NFL trade deadline. Steelers' sales pitch involves two new stars for JAKOBI Meyers. That would be Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf at quarterback and wide receiver, respectively. Wide receivers rarely turn down the chance to play with Super Bowl-winning passers, irrespective of how old they are. Rodgers is now in place in the Steel City, but the WR room remains iffy at best outside of Metcalf. The Pro Bowler no longer has George Pickens opposite of him. Pickens completed his first training camp with the Dallas Cowboys. Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin III are the only other options outside of Metcalf, with Austin catching below 40 passes in 2024. Pittsburgh can prevent itself from creating more pressure on Wilson and Austin. Meyers hands the AFC North franchise a needed experienced and established veteran for Metcalf and Rodgers, plus makes the Steelers' WR unit one of the league's deepest. So, what will it take trade-wise to bring Meyers over? Trade proposal involving Steelers and Raiders. The Steelers are a strong destination already for Meyers. Now, with Cooper back in the Raiders' locker room, this rules out LV considering WR. This leads into the following idea involving both parties. Steelers send one 2026 third-rounder to Vegas. Pittsburgh ships 26 free agent guard Isaac Seumalo in this move too. The Raiders then sweeten this deal for Pittsburgh. Vegas ships away more than Meyers in this proposal. The Raiders trade guard Dylan Parham. This is a 2-for-2 special on both sides, and moves that benefit the Steelers and Raiders greatly. Seumalo is back from the non-football injury list, but he's due to make beyond $6.8 million in base salary this season. Plus, he carries a cap hit of $10.1 million. The 31-year-old would join Alex Kappa as pass guards carrying Super Bowl winning experience into the Raiders' locker room. Seumalo played on the Philadelphia Eagles' Super Bowl 52 team. Parham is feeling turbulent ground at guard in Henderson. The 26-year-old is looking like a potential odd man out in the two deep. Change is increasing for the past third-rounder. Oh, he's still on his rookie deal with no word of a fifth-year option. Parham rejoins old Memphis teammate Austin here in the Meyers proposal. Vegas then gains an additional third-rounder for next April. Pittsburgh already holds a third-round option via the Cowboys thanks to the Pickens move. The general managers John Spytek and Omar Khan should hold this conversation for the Raiders and Steelers, respectively.